Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about how death does not give any meaning to life. It's life that gives meaning to life. You sometimes see these people who aren't particularly maybe thinking deep enough about this issue, saying things like, oh, it's death that gives meaning to life. It's death that makes life beautiful and worth living. And it's this kind of things that sound kind of poetic, but if you think 5 seconds about it, you realize it's complete bullshit. It makes absolutely no sense. It's like I'm borrowing some thoughts here from Eliezer but essentially you're not looking at the sunset and thinking, you know what makes this sunset really beautiful? The fact that I will inevitably cease to exist in some 10 years or something. No one has this idea, like, if you want to live today and if you want to live tomorrow, then you never actually want to die. It's one of these justifications that we make to sort of cope with the idea. It used to be that when children had smallpox and we didn't have a cure for smallpox, then people thought, oh, this is God's judgment, this is the plan of God, this is how it's supposed to go, and their parents like accepted it, and it maybe helped them in some way. But this is ridiculous and childish. These are these kind of stories that we construct around these ideas to help our kind of cognitive dissonance against these two ideas of how to manage death. When your instinct is that you like life and you want to be alive, you shouldn't, try to think harder about it to make death seem like you want to feel death. It's like could you go to another planet like where nobody ever dies, and you would introduce this idea because death is so wonderful, and you go to these people who never ever die and you tell them like, you know what, how about we do something that gives your life way more meaning, like just at some totally unexpected time, or when you're quite old enough, you will just stop existing, and there's no escaping from it. You can't choose one, you can't choose anything about it, and it will happen to everyone and your children and your loved ones, and this will give your life more meaning. What do you think those people would say? They would say you're absolutely crazy, and they would take you to the insane asylum. This is crazy, and it is a way for people to sort of make themselves feel better, although on closer inspection it makes absolutely no sense. It's life that gives meaning to life. Life is beautiful. It's not non-existence and the great dull and the tragedy and the horribleness of death that gives any meaning to life. Yes, people say there's this kind of balance of, you have to have some bad to have good, but I would disagree to that. Certainly it does give a contrast, but it's perfectly possible to live a good life and be a good person and have a rich experience without suffering tons and tons unnecessarily. So it's just something that I saw in social media recently. Like, some person posted something and I was like, this is so stupid. Like, do you really think about it? Like, it's easy to go along with these things that kind of sound good but really don't make any sense once we actually look at them. There's another thing that we could talk about, like, would you really want to live forever? The whole argument comes from when we will be able to actually do something about death and cure death, because what is death after all? It's just damage to our bodies, and once we can stop and reverse the damage, there will be no death. There is no physical actual reason why we have to die. There isn't any. It's just the sort of natural way things go. Like, you drive with a car for like 20 years and it eventually breaks down unless you fix it, So yeah, this is just some ideas. Like, it's life gives meaning to life, and life is beautiful, and we should want more life and less death, and I think we should keep it simple like that, because that's how we feel, and quite often usually the things we feel first glance are the right answers. So this is just my 2 cents on the topic, and hope you got something interesting out of this. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.